I think it was like 320 or 325,000 people dropped out of the labor force literally recently. Another 200 and some thousand people want a job but haven't looked.
Sean, we do this every year, like early August. We tell everybody that you need to start recruiting now, and then everybody waits until September, and then bitches all fall along that they don't have the right people, and their holiday lights, especially. Like if you have a seasonal business and you get a big push in the fall, everybody I know gets limited by their capacity. Right. Like they never have enough workers, and it's a hard time to recruit already. Like it already is generally a hard time to recruit. Sorry, I'm stealing your thunder. Why don't you
you're right. It's summer's kind of tough. A lot of times you got college students, high school students that are in the labor market in the summer too. So when they're taking up jobs, that's hard. We're actually very recently getting some data and hearing it from clients, and I obviously talk to other recruiters and so on and so forth. Especially blue collar stuff, it's a tremendously difficult market in most parts of the country right now. And there's a few reasons and a few things going on with that. We've got clients that are still executing on hiring needs and stuff, but there's some difficult things and some sort of landmines out there. One of the things, and some boring data stuff, but you'll like it. You're the numbers guy.
Oh, I like me some data stuff.
Yeah. Here we go. So they, everybody looks at in my world the unemployment rate and what's going on and with that stuff. But there's something called the labor force participation rate too, and that's sort of a way that they measure how many people in the country are actually working or trying to work. So like the unemployment rate doesn't know who's trying to get a job necessarily or who's actually looking for a job. Because if I've got a job, I'm not part of the unemployment. But if I'm actively looking for a job, that's part of the labor force participation rate. And I think it's like 16 years and older is sort of what's in there. And they use the Census Bureau to get the information. So you're either working a job actively or you're looking for one. That's what it's all about. Well, that labor force participation rate very recently dropped to like COVID levels, which obviously COVID levels were through the roof. But if you took the world of COVID out for those several years there, it's like decades low on what happened. So that there was like, I think it was like 320 or 325,000 people dropped out of the labor force literally recently. Another 200 and some thousand people want a job but haven't looked in the past.
Yeah, so like they drop out and it's they remove themselves from the labor force because they don't start looking for another job. So they're not out there for us to hire anyway.
They're not seeing your ad because they're not looking for anything. Right. Yeah. So that's like recent numbers. If you can pile it up over the actual number, because those are like monthly numbers, it's just under 2 million people are part of the labor force participation rate that are not working and not looking for a job. This doesn't include just people with disabilities, stay-at-home parents, or anyone that's
has other priorities.
Cannot work.
Yeah.
Right. So that means obviously that there's a ton less people looking for jobs right now, let alone what we talk about seasonal wise. It's just been difficult, but that's enough, right? But there's some other things that are happening as well.
Hey, Home Service Heroes, thank you guys so much for tuning into our Home Service Happy Hour content today. I sure hope you learned a little something, and I sure as heck hope that it was entertaining. If you did find it fun and entertaining, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel for more cool, fun, entertaining business content. And speaking of which, stay tuned. There's a little more here and a little more right here. Check it out.